What's up? So, today I'm gonna be doing something kind of similar to what, Wyatt X Hem talked about with, his ghost collection. And, yeah, I'm just gonna get right into this. It's not about Ghost, it's about my favorite black metal band, Imperium Dekadenz. Get that to actually cooperate this time. Yeah, I guess that's about as good as it's gonna get. Sorry, I'm like mildly ill right now, so. Yeah, this is their first album, Und die Welt ward kalt und leer. I believe that's German for "and the world was cold and empty." Beautiful, beautiful artwork. That's one of the best things about Imperium Dekadenz is the art. You know, next to the absolutely stunning music, gatefold, just on black, and this is I'd say probably their most depressive album. There's the very first one, and I really don't know how else to describe it. It's very, like, dreary, very, like, kind of muted, almost. It's absolutely phenomenal, and it still has some of the melodic and atmospheric tendencies that future works of them have. Like, not gonna show that just yet because we're not there yet, but like future works of theirs have. Something about that is just like the culmination of their very first album. It's like it has its own unique blend, especially even among Imperium Dekadenz, and it's a very, very interesting album. And then next up, we've got their second album with Dämmerung der Zanarien. I don't know what that translates into. It's been a while since I looked. Yeah, there you go. Gatefold. I've shown this enough to the point where you guys should know. And, like, the second vinyl video I did, but just in case you've forgotten, black vinyl. This, I have to say, while Imperium Dekadenz has made no bad albums, this is certainly my least favorite. While it doesn't really have as much as the depressive atmosphere, I'd say, as Und die Welt ward und leer had, it does, however, have its own certain charm. I'd say it's a little bit less atmospheric and depressive than their first album. It's my least favorite, but that means absolutely nothing because the Imperium Dekadenz does not make bad albums. And moving on, Priscilla Vadens. This absolute masterpiece of an album. Yeah, I'm sorry. Like I said, I'm sorry. I've got a head cold and chest cold. But yeah, this absolute gem, masterpiece of atmospheric, pseudo-depressive black metal. There's no words to describe how much I absolutely love this album. This is my first Imperium Dekadenz album that I heard. Also, I'm sorry if that got a little loud. The speakers for my record player are literally right in front of my phone, or behind. But, first song I ever listened to because of this, and also, that art is literally the whole reason that they are my favorite black metal band. I discovered them with this album, and I absolutely fell in love. First song I ever heard off of this still remains one of my favorite, but I don't think it's quite the best, although it's a personal favorite of mine is A Million Moons. This is, I'd say, a magnum opus of theirs, honestly. It's beautiful, it's haunting, it's depressive, it's atmospheric to no end. There's just so much about this album that is good and right, and you honestly are doing yourself a disservice if you have not heard this yet. Then again, this is coming from the guy who likes Korn, Disturbed, Night Electric, As Lay Dying, so take my opinion with a pinch of salt, but trust me, this is definitely a really good place to start if you're going to want to get into Imperium Dekadenz. And next we have their split with Vargsheim. This is, I believe this is the only known release from Vargsheim. Going on to Encyclopedia Metallum, I can't find anything else from them on there, and I checked probably about 3 times before I actually bought this. Which, by the way, this is very high on my want list for a very, very long time. But yeah, this is, again, very, very good. Imperium Dekadenz doing... It sounds kind of like a mixture between their next album and Priscilla Vadens. Not next album as in the most recent, but between Priscilla Vadens, or right after Priscilla Vadens, I should say. This sounds kind of like a continuation and a good transition, like a logical step as to why their next album made sense. And it wasn't even really that big of a stylistic shift. It was just this split was an amazing, transition into their next album. And then Vargsheim's 2 tracks are really good too. I wish there was more on the internet about them so I could just envelop myself in their awesomeness. Also, and take notice, I didn't really know that until a little while after I got this. Sorry, there was something on my lip. But the Vargsheim V is with the Imperium Dekadenz Eagle. They, morph the body. You see right there, that's the Vargsheim V. But yeah, like I said, it's a very good transitional 2 songs into their next album, which I'll talk about. And then Vargsheim's contribution on here is very much appreciated because it's very, very good. Very good split, and especially if you want to get introduced to 2 new bands. And next up we have... we have Meadows of Nostalgia. Gonna take care of the CD first. Most of the lyrics this time are in German on this album. And then get that straight. Yeah, like I said, again, most of them are in German. Regobanis, Audir Nostalgie, Aura Silva, Der Unweg, and then lastly Trinin des Bacchus. There's only 3 songs on this album that are actually in English, which is kind of a shame because, like, Imperium Dekadenz lyrics just, like, fascinate me to no end, but, you know, it's whatever. It's still fantastic music, so. But yeah, this is a much more, like, kind of gives you the sense of wandering through the forest, I'd say. Because the split, the amount of, like, water and naturistic sounds that were on the split with Vargsheim is part of what made this album make more sense after I heard it. Is there's a lot more, like, naturistic sounds, and by the way, I don't have Priscilla Dekadenz on vinyl because there is not a vinyl version that exists. But it was a Nostalgia is on black. In a single sleeve. I did not like that. It was no bueno. But anyway, yeah. This album is a lot more, like, nature-oriented than I'd say Priscilla Dekadenz was. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. Priscilla Dekadenz was just more like atmospheric and cold and depressive sounding. Whereas this is a lot more like just, I'd say, natural and just elegant. And at times I don't really want to make this much of a comparison, even though I think it's just a little justified, but with how just, not really intricate, but with just how beautiful and breathtaking some of the songs on this album can be, it's like they took a page from Agalok. And Agalok, as you should know, is amazing, and if you don't know that, then what are you doing here? Pause this video, turn it off, like, burn your house down and go buy an Agalok record. Anyway, yeah, a lot more nature-oriented, and it's very, very just stunning and beautiful. And for that reason, I love this album. And it's also, I'd say, also by the point of Metals and Nostalgia, that they had really ditched most of their previous elements of. They had ditched most of the previous elements of just, like, sadness and depression. Again, this album was a lot more focused on beauty. So, and then lastly, yep, there we go. Next up and last, we have Dis Manibus. Dear God, potential album of the year. Almost might be the album of the year. On a very nice gatefold. And there's the back. And this is just on black, as I showed. This is... I hate to say this, because Priscilla Dekadenz is, like, my personal favorite album from Imperium Dekadenz, but this album has got Priscilla Dekadenz in a headlock. It's a two-way tie between which of these albums is my absolute favorite, and the more and more I listen to it, I genuinely think that Dis Manibus is going to overtake Priscilla Dekadenz as my favorite Imperium Dekadenz album. It's stunning, it's breathtaking, the lyricism is... I don't know what it is about it, it's just enrapturing to me, and I can't get enough of this album. I will listen to it on CD, I will listen to it on my record player, I will listen to it on my iPod. It's perfect listening to at night. And me being a delivery driver and it getting more towards winter, this is absolutely perfect. And I cannot express to you guys how much you need this album in your life. Only Fragments of Light, Still I Rise, Dismanibus, Ve Victus, Volcano, Pure Nocturnal Roam, Somnia. Just every single song on this is mind-numbingly amazing. And then... okay. So, me being the obsessive collector douchebag that I am, I got every vinyl variant of this album, which I'm going to do for Carnifex, but give it time. Oh yeah, Canyon, if you're gonna watch, I know this will be your favorite color, like stark marble white. Very, very sexy. I would consider, you know, sending you this just for the sake of sending you this, but, you know, if you don't like Imperium Dekadenz, that's your own prerogative, sir. More room on my shelf's taken up. And then after that, I've got... the completely, entirely transparent copy. Gorgeous. Gorgeous. This is like the first like completely see-through vinyl that I've gotten. And get that in there. But yeah, the white vinyl is limited to 250 copies worldwide. This one is limited to 200 worldwide. And this last one, the gold vinyl, is limited to 100. And for those of you who are going to accuse me of only collecting this for resale value or something, or because I'm going to try and sell it, no. If I buy a variant, every variant of a band's album, it's not because I'm going to resell the rarer ones, it's because I'm absolutely obsessed with that band. That would be why. Let me actually get this out now. But, yeah. Then this one is gold. Limited to 100. And in there. Come on. Anyway, that's pretty much the end of the video. Just more or less wanted a reason to kind of stroke my stroke the ego of my Imperium Dekadenz collection. So I appreciate you guys watching, and I appreciate you sticking around as long as you did. This is almost 20 minutes long. This is longer than it should be. But yeah, thanks for watching, and peace out.